Here.
Kraus.
Here.
Dunleavy.
Here.
Rath.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Rose.
Here.
Easter. Here. Schley.
Here.
Dornick.
Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Take your hats off.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want to remind everybody that I will be a voting member on the council this evening, since I am a council member. Approval of the agenda be in order with a few changes. We want to move 11A, the District 3 alderperson, up to follow the approval of the agenda. So that'll be in between 2 and 3. And then we want to move 8E to follow examination of the minutes in between 5 and 6. And then 6G and H will be moved to follow 11F. To those changes?
I'll second.
Motion by Mary Beth, second by Gloria. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. So we have in our packet, on page 73 and 74, District 3 alderpersons that are interested have sent letters of interest to us. One would be Daniel Rint, and the other was Amy Steenbach. Do I have a pleasure of a nomination, or? Yes, Greg?
I'll nominate Amy Steenbach.
Second.
Is there any other comments or any discussion, or? No discussion on it? Do I take a roll call vote on that? It's not, I do? Okay. I'll take a roll call vote on that then. There's no discussion, right? Nope, okay.
Leinert.
Yes.
Kraus.
We have the nomination for Amy,
Right, we're voting on it.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Rath.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Easter. Yes. Schley.
Yes.
Dornick.
No.
Motion carried. 8-1. And then we'll let Peggy swear her in if she's here.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even see you. Thanks. Then you can join us.
To you, Amy Steenbach, who has been appointed as District 3 alderperson in and for the city of Clintonville and Waupaca counties, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office to the best of your ability, so help you God.
Next on the agenda is the correspondence, and we have one piece of correspondence this evening from the Waupaca County Economic Development Corporation. Hopefully you all had a chance to read it. There's always interesting reading. We will move on to citizens forum. This is a chance for citizens to make comments. Please be courteous at all times. Remember that this is not meant to be an opportunity to make personal attacks on any city official. No action or lengthy discussions can take place as a result of comments made at this time. And I would also like to add, there is no clapping, booing, or applauding. The first time it happens, you will be asked to leave. Okay? We're all adults here. Would anyone care to speak in the citizens forum today? Yes, Harry. Just need your name and address.
Harry Hamilton, 215 Pine Street, Cliftonville. I'd like to take us back a little bit, about 5 years ago. I was here when Mayor McGee was first elected mayor. I was part of that she got in, let me tell you. And I voted for her for mayor, and I voted for her for the school board also, so I want that to be known. Things have really changed in that time period. One of her first selections that she had, or nominations, was Gloria April Dunleavy for city attorney, and it was turned down on a big margin. The next time I came to a council meeting, the mayor brought up another name, a gentleman from, I think it was from London or the Valley. That was turned down by a big margin. So it was status quo. And I don't remember the next time she elected mayor who she nominated. I wasn't here at that time. But anyway, on the last time, can someone tell me, was she nominated again or not? She was turned down again. Okay, but on the last election, she didn't nominate him. I believe she nominated Tim Schmitz. Am I right? Okay, and the council turned that down. Well, okay, things have just swung, 180 degrees, and all of a sudden, the mayor got a committee going to pick, someone for the city attorney. I don't know who was on the committee, but anyway, they recommended Ms. Dunleavy. And I believe she passed 6-4. It just tells me, one time it was 6-4 one way, next time 6-4 another way. There's something wrong with all you people. You always can't be right, you can't always be wrong. And I'm sorry that the mayor is off sick. And I don't think she should come back until she's fully healthy, because I'll tell you, this is not a good environment to be in. And I give you, Ms. Dunleavy, a lot of credit for all the crap you've taken from everybody too. But this town's got to change, and it's about time you all listen to one another and say, hey, let's do what's best for the citizens. So thank you very much.
Anyone else care to speak at this time? Yes, Brad?
Brad Rokas, 213 North Clinton. My, it seems like this group, other than tonight, keeps getting smaller and smaller every month. However, the crowd of concerned citizens in the back keeps growing larger. We are concerned. We are concerned with the direction this Gang of Six is taking our city. It is our city, not yours. Yet you rule as if many of us don't even exist. All we hear about is this scared, silent majority of regular folks who don't come to meetings, who won't voice their concerns. I really don't believe they exist, not in large numbers anyway. If they do, now is the time for them to stand up and be counted, because the rest of us are, and we will continue to do so. You were elected to lead this city into the future, a future of prosperity and growth for our city. Unfortunately, you Gang of Six have taken us down a dark road of shady politics, economical despair. Behind, we have left ethics, transparency in government, and economic growth. Ahead of us only lies deceit, dishonesty, and economic hardships. True, this isn't the first time we have seen budget shortfalls in hard times, but in those times we had something we currently do not: strong, open, and ethical leadership. Instead, we have ignorance, inexperience, and incompetence. At the last meeting, someone mentioned that many of us just miss the old council and need to move on. I think they might have been right. I know I miss the old council, the old hardworking and ethical council, but they, for the most part, are gone. We now need to work and deal with what we have. We also must remember, elections mean something. Again, elections mean something. This is the governing body that was elected to represent us, all of us. If they choose to ignore us, then we must take action to ensure our future. We must let our voices be heard, here at the meetings, with our friends and neighbors, and most importantly, at the voting booth. We must not let this gang of six continue to jeopardize our future. We need strong, objective leadership to bring us out of this pit of despair this gang of six has caused. We can overcome the obstacles this gang of six has put in our path to a brighter future. They may even help to be part of the solution. But first, they must put aside their vendettas and power grabs and be willing to work with the rest of us. While we cannot undo the wrong they have done, we can and will hold them responsible. We need to get back on track. This gang of six is not taking the city in a positive direction. Their options are limited. They can change course and right the ship, or they can be ousted from office at our earliest convenience. Either way, all I want is a brighter future for all in Clintonville.
Anyone else care to speak? Jim? Name and address, please.
Pardon?
Name and address.
Jim Kraus, 258 Ann Street, Clintonville, Alderman for First District. I'm here tonight on behalf of one of my constituents who's contacted me in regards to a letter she wanted to read, but she had other commitments tonight that she couldn't be here. So she asked if I would read it for her. And I'll read it as she has written it. First, I want to thank you for reconsidering the streetlight removal situation. I came and spoke at the first meeting when people would give their opinions about the original removal of certain streetlights. Many people were concerned about different issues that would arise because our dark streets. I live on a long block on Garfield Avenue between 14th and 15th Street. It used to have a street light, which originally had been petitioned for in the middle of the block. Now that it has been removed, I don't feel good or as safe about the fact that when I look out my window at night, it is totally black. People who have visited me at my home have voiced the same concern. We owned our home and have been a taxpayer for 52 years. I have been upset by the fact that we had no say-so in their decision about the lights. I would have been willing to pay more on my light bill if necessary, but no one was asked. It was decided by a few and just done. I thought our aldermen were supposed to make decisions according to the people in their district's wants and needs. I would really appreciate this matter being treated as an important need on our many dark streets. Thank you for listening. Joey Erdman. As long as I'm here, I would like to add that I understand Joey's concern. I do know that recently she lost her husband. And it puts more pressure on her, being alone. So I would definitely, she wants the street lighting. I know she wants it very much. And I think we're on the right track with it. I just hope we continue on the right track and we replace all of the street lighting that was taken down. Thank you.
Anyone else care to speak? Yes, Sally.
Sally Schrebfer, 54 Torrey Street, Clintonville. Last week, Mrs. Loudy read a letter from her son stating the citizens shouldn't resist change. I have no problem with change. Change can be a good thing if it's done properly. However, in the last few months, we have seen changes that have not been done properly. 6 alderpersons voted out a very capable city attorney, and before he was barely out of the door, voted in Mrs. Dunleavy's and Mrs. Schley's niece as the new city attorney. No other candidates were interviewed or presented. Is this the proper way to implement change? For months, we watched the witch hunt unfold as these same 6 alderpersons attempted to get rid of our city administrator. Everything very hush-hush in closed session meetings. When Lisa asked if she could tell what the charges were against her, she was told she couldn't because the meetings were in closed session. Thousands of dollars later in legal fees, these 6 alderpersons managed to get her out and left our city in a state of utter chaos. The mayor has had to take a leave of absence because of all the verbal abuse and nitpicking she's been subjected to in the last few months by these same 6 alderpersons. They attempted to vote down a perfectly legal recall election of one of their group until they were told by the state they couldn't do that. You 6 alderpersons are not working for the best interests of the city. You have your own little personal agendas, and you won't be happy until you accomplish it, even if it means destroying our city in the process. Be careful what you wish for.
Anyone else care to speak? Yes.
Elizabeth Rogas, 213 North Clinton Avenue. This council needs to know that we as citizens, we're upset. We've been speaking out to this council, and the majority have not and continue not to listen. You have run this city into the ground and crippled it. With the budget we are facing, I cannot believe the turning on of those streetlights is still being discussed. Wait, yes I can. This is Clintonville, home of the Council of Mass Destruction. How are we to come back from this? This needs to be fixed, and it needs immediate action. Immediate. I, as a citizen, want a plan, and frankly, I would like that plan now.
Anyone else care to speak? Taking that as a no, October 7th, and they were in your packets, page 3, 4, and 5, and 6.
I move approval of the minutes from those 3 meetings.
I have a motion. Do I have a second on the approval of minutes?
I'll second.
Any other comments, questions, or changes on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I abstain.
Okay, thank you. You got one abstention? Thank you. Sorry, Amy. Okay, then we're moving on to 8E. We will be going into closed session for this. We'll be adjourning into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Stats 19.85, Parent 1, Parent C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which a governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whatever competitive or bargaining reasons required a closed session. A, interim city administrator. B, hiring a financial budgeting advisor in the absence of the city administrator, may reconvene into open session for possible action. And I would make that motion. To include the council, the attorney, include all staff in the motion, and if we need to amend it, we can. And also Chuck Cal in the motion as well. That's the only one we're moving up this evening. The others are at the end. Yes, Greg?
I'll second your motion.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Pardon? Any discussion on it? No discussion? Roll call, please.
Gross.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Rath.
Yes.
Steenbach.
Abstain.
Wilson.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Easter. Yes. Schley.
Yes.
Dornick.
Yes.
Steiner.
Yes.
The council has made a motion and accepted Chuck Kell will be our new interim city administrator effective Monday, October 20th. He will be joining the staff and helping us through budgets and such. And he will be an interim city administrator for the time being, okay? And we'll move on. We're on to number 6A, resolution 2014-13, street dedication. It was at your desk. And it'll be Blue Road dedication of Commercial Avenue. We have to do this so it gets filed at Waupaca County. And the motion. Mary Beth made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Made the second. Any other comments or questions? We'll need a roll call on a resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. And then the resolution 2014-14, street dedication, West Street. This, Nordine's just cleaned this up. It wasn't done back in the 90s, so it has to be done yet. And it's just okay, thank you.
I'll second.
Any other comments? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I've got too much paper going here tonight. The next would be mayoral authorization and duties during leave of absence. We had a few things on October 2nd, the morning of Thursday morning, October 2nd, after the mayor took the leave of absence. I came down to City Hall. The city-owned phone, which was supposed to be in the bottom desk drawer, as was stated, of her desk. It was not, and that would have been the phone for me to use. It was returned to the City Hall after a few requests on October 2nd, so a week later it came back. Unfortunately, the mayor took it to a business and had it wiped clean. Besides the fact we lost calendar information for back billing the DOT on meetings attended, we also lost any pertinent contact information, as well as, this is open records. This was, and everything on it was city property. The phone charger was not, we haven't seen that yet. They went out and bought a new one at the cost of $29.95 because we don't know where it is. So I think we need to have some kind of, I don't know, policy or something. Because it was returned on October 7th. Well, actually, it could have been October 8th because it came back to the Peggy's mailbox inside City Hall here. It came back last Tuesday night after our meeting, somewhere after 7:30 at night when the building was locked, and 5 in the morning the next day, it was there. So somewhere along the line, there's maybe key issues from, I don't know. It just has some of the employees, the staff is concerned. And I don't blame them. Because her mailbox is inside, back here, where all this other information is. And I don't know what to do with it, or what anybody's thoughts is on it, but I think there's too many keys issued. And we need to address maybe the proper times an elected official should have the run of the building. Is it 24/7 that an elected official can come in the building? I don't know. I think we all need to be looking at the best interest of the city though, when we're thinking about this, because it's like, there's lots of information in this office. And there's a key that can be come and go as you please. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. I'm just bringing you up to speed on it because the staff found it a little alarming. And when I found it a little alarming, besides the fact that the open records on a city property is not there anymore. Well, Lori, do you or Mary?
It doesn't make, I guess I'm concerned about keys floating around. I can't imagine any place if you don't have ties to it, you give up your key. If you don't have, if there are too many keys, maybe it's time to change the locks, have one key, or people actually responsible to the keys. The keys just aren't floating around, and they cannot be keys that would be able to be remade. And I'm always thinking there probably should be a key always at the police station, just in case someone would have to get in for some odd reason. But then there would always be a record of it that the police gave out the key to so-and-so, and they came into the building. I don't think it's right that anybody, elected or not, I'm sorry, I don't think you should have freewheeling in these offices. I don't believe Peggy's office is locked and separately. Is it, Peggy? Your office, can it be locked separately?
It's locked, but I have a window.
Oh. Okay,
Door's
so
locked.
point made. I think the city clerk's office should always be under, that is city clerk business. She's a separate entity from any of the employees, or your records are very private, nobody should go in, and you're responsible for them. Therefore, no one else should have access to them but you, because you're the one that if something happens, it's your fault because you are responsible. Well, I'm sorry, Peggy, but you know it. It would be your fault because you are the one responsible for these. So I am really looking at, and I would like to see that somehow we get either that closed up, that window, and a key, and you'd be responsible for key, and maybe a key at the police station that's under basically lock and key there. Just so we have the chain of command of where the key is, and we have security here. I know Justin at one time did, I think you're handy enough, then maybe we could do this in-house and have the remodeling done and have that window is closed, and especially that, because I don't like it that any key is floating around, including the building. Because, and I don't know who got in the building, who has keys to the building, that would have dropped the phone off, or who had the phone, but whoever had the phone and got it wiped clean and then brought it back in was in the wrong. And sorry, that's how I feel. That's not right.
Well, Mary Beth was next, John.
I have an open records request pending. I haven't received it yet. It was on the mayor's phone. I have not received my open records request. So I'm just wondering about that. Obviously, I won't be getting it. The other thing is, we were told that the mayor's on a leave of absence due to a mental health issue. I don't know if anybody if a doctor signed off on this, or if she just decided that herself.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, the reason it was an open letter to it's published in the paper. So what I'm saying is that now I see on the mayor's Facebook page that she's issuing proclamations.
We can't talk about this, Mary Beth.
Well, I would say the reason to not discuss it would be the reason behind the leave of absence, because I don't want to discuss anyone's health issues.
Oh, I'm not talking, all I'm talking about is that there's a leave of absence, and it was granted, and I don't know who was granted by, but now we have the mayor issuing proclamations and making appearances as the mayor. And I thought that the leave of absence meant that she was absent from her duties and we have an acting mayor taking over. So I'm confused that she's issuing proclamations and making public appearances as the mayor.
So how that rolls. I've called down to the League of Municipalities on that, but it's a new territory. No one has ever done it. So I don't know how to answer that.
Yes. Well, during a leave of absence, the council president steps up as the acting mayor, and they have all the duties then that the mayor had. Because they're the acting mayor. And because it's a leave of absence, you do step away from the post and someone else steps in, acting in the position.
So would it be appropriate for the attorney to instruct her, to remind her of that she is acting inappropriately, that she's taking actions as mayor when she's on the leave?
Well, I don't know specifically what the actions are.
Well, the mayor has a Facebook, it's Mayor Judy McGee's Facebook, and she posted on there that every day there's something, but someone called it to my attention, a constituent, because I hadn't seen it, and it says that she issued a proclamation congratulating the Lions Club on their 50th anniversary, and then there's a picture of her being sitting there as the mayor at the event. And there's other, you know, she posts, you notices the meeting, the minutes were posted for this meeting, so that's what I'm talking about. So there was a proclamation issued, and I know when we have the proclamations, they're usually, I asked Peggy because it's on her computer, but it's mounted on a wooden board. I think they get those from trophies or treasures, so obviously somebody, you know, had that done.
Well, yes, generally speaking, the proclamations are then read at council meetings. Again, I don't know, a Facebook page, we can't control. We don't have jurisdiction over someone's Facebook page.
But you would over or issuing a proclamation, wouldn't you?
Well, there's probably something there. I couldn't say for sure right now because I don't know the date of that, if it was during the leave of absence or not, but
yeah, it was.
if
I
it
wouldn't
was,
bring it up if it wasn't. It was last week, last Saturday.
there may be an issue there if it was during the leave of absence, because when you take a leave of absence, you're no longer acting in that position. So that's something that should be addressed.
And would that be addressed by you?
Not necessarily.
Who would you suggest?
It could be done by the council president, the council as a whole.
Well, it would have to be the council as a whole because she will not return my calls. I don't know. I gave up calls. Jim, do you have a question that's pertaining to this topic, please?
Well, you got off the subject I was going to make reference to.
Oh,
You were talking about changing keys and...
Can't hear back here.
You're talking about changing the keys to the entry doors and that sort of thing, and boarding up windows. I really think that, you know, there's a much better solution and a very good control down the road, that when is if you had a card swipe system, that when someone comes into office, if they're a city clerk or whoever, they would have a card. They take that card. If this card is registered in their name, it's numbered, and if in fact they leave, then you can cancel that card. They can't get back in on a computer, because all of this stuff is computerized. It's a very simple system to do. We're not talking that many doors here. We're talking, you know, the front doors, back door, probably the door to the entry to the fire department, and that's it. There's 3 doors. It would not be a very complex system, nor would it be expensive. I think the other solution might be just as expensive. And you wouldn't have the security. Like down the road, you can take, when an employee leaves, you take their card, and if they don't want to give you the card, fine. Just enter it on the computer, cancel the card number, period. Now, you've got complete security, and the next person that comes back in, they are issued a card. I know up at school, I'm sure Greg can testify to this, and I'm sure that system works very well. I have a card to the school because I helped install it, the system, but I'm just saying that is a very viable option.
Justin, I'm sorry.
Since I'm responsible for the maintenance of the building, I can look into the prices of that. I know Steve Ranke, he has a machine up there to make the cards for the school district. Maybe we don't have to purchase that machine, make a deal with them, just buy the actual scanners for each door, and I can get something put together for you.
In reference to that, Federal Security, the computer guy who works that, he just does it right there. He can make any card inactive instantly, or he can activate a card. So a situation like this never would have occurred if, when she left on a leave of absence, that she turned in her card. She couldn't get back in. And if she didn't turn it in, just cancel the card.
Yes, great.
That's something that we can certainly put on a future agenda to act upon. Sticking to the program of the mayor authorization duties and leave of absence and past actions and city properties and so forth. You know, we've gone round and round in circles regarding what to do with this, and I don't think that we can really take much further action regarding the activities of our mayor, whether she is acting or not. You know, regarding some of her actions, we've done votes of no confidence, we've done censuring. At this point in time, what else is there really that we can do? It's just, you know, you can't do anything else. I don't think we can come to any kind of an action, a motion on this item. I just consider that it is what it is, and she's doing things that we do not see as proper, but you can't force a person, I guess, to not do things.
Does anyone else have anything? Oh, yes, Peggy.
One thing, if I could clarify and ask for assistance, the mayor's phone was not the phone that was turned in. I still am in need of her phone, so I would ask for assistance in getting that phone for me to complete the open records request, but that was not the phone that was turned in to me.
It's a city phone,
Administrator.
city administrator's phone
Oh.
that's been
Oh, I thought it was.
that's been made available to me to use because mine is way over its minutes, and I don't know how to work it, and I don't want to learn.
So the one that was found in Peggy's mailbox was the city administrator's phone?
Yes,
Now, just now?
just a week after we asked for it, yes. It was in Terry's possession for a while, but then he had to surrender it to the mayor when she asked for it. So, John, do you have something to add?
Yeah, who's phone, who's the phone company that had this? Can't you go back to them and see who,
Well, she
deleted
had
everything out?
authorization, that's where we have the issue. We have to have like a double team on authorization or something. I don't know, 2 names on it, that they can't get into them without a second person saying, yeah, do this? Because, like, my kids can't go down there and say, I want this on my phone. They cannot do that without me saying, okay, you can do that. But the mayor has that authorization. She could go down there tomorrow if she felt like it and cancel everybody's cell phone because she has that authority. But she's on leave of absence right now. And, well, I don't know that, John, but I'm just saying maybe we should have a second name that two people have to be in authority of having that authority to do that. Because what if she, I don't know. I would hate to think that that would happen, but things have happened in the past that weren't in the best interest of the city. And I don't think that having just one person, I don't know how the employees feel with that, but I know her name is on for that, to do that as the authorization. But right now she's on leave of absence and she's down there doing things. I don't know if it's proper or not. Yes.
Are we on item C or E?
We're on C, and it's mayoral authorization of the phone usage.
Okay.
With
Well, we're kind of getting into
right, I know.
E.
We're kind of combining them all because it is all kinds of rolls into one. Yes, Amy.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
So you're saying there is no dual control?
No.
Okay. I come from a situation where there's dual control.
And that's probably how it should be. I mean, there's two names on it, but they both have the same authority. They don't have to give permission. One doesn't have to give permission to the other to do it. It's just, she can go down well, the two people that are authorized, I think 3 people are authorized. But I don't know if it was in the best interest of the city to wipe the phone clean. Yes, Greg?
Perhaps this is something that could be referred to personnel or, a committee to work on policy adjustments for how we handle city-issued equipment, cell phones and whatnot.
Yeah, that's coming up on one of these numbers too.
We can't resolve this
No,
entirely now.
So, but I just wanted you to be made aware of it, and I know that in her resignation letter, she did state she wanted it all in open, so. Pardon? I mean, in her absence. She wanted anything discussed in open session, so. Yes, Mary Beth?
Well, I'm going back to what April said, I'm concerned about the fact, because you said nobody's ever, evidently, I can't believe nobody's ever had an elected official take a leave of absence, but, we don't know if this leave of absence, was medically authorized or not, but the point is, April said that if we wanted to. Is someone talking in the back?
Yeah, you're back here.
Okay.
If someone, she said if we want, my concern is this, the duties of the mayor including giving these proclamations. And now the acting mayor should be doing, and you said they're usually read at the council meeting. So one was issued, I can certainly bring that to you. And then if you said the council could take action, so would it be appropriate if I bring it to you, then we can say that you need to instruct the mayor to cease and desist from acting as the mayor when she's on leave?
Well, I wouldn't use those words, but there could be some sort of action as a reminder that if you're on a leave of absence through anything, then you aren't acting in that role.
Fine, so, but what you need for me to show you the actual proclamation is what you're saying, that she issued?
Yes, but I couldn't do anything without some sort of council action.
That's right, so in other words, I can't do anything until I show you the proclamation. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yes,
Just to be
Mark.
clear, the city attorney, I think what you're saying is acts at the pleasure, I think is how it's worded, the pleasure and will of the council, not an individual council member, or on their own.
Yes.
On your own.
Yes.
Oh, right,
Okay, thank you.
it would come to council.
You need to recognize.
Anybody else? Yes.
I just want to make clear, I certainly didn't intend that I was going to do it myself. She said it had to be done with council action, so it would definitely come to the next council meeting. That's why I said it couldn't be done till the next council meeting.
Yes, Greg?
I make a motion that we refer the issue of the city-issued equipment / cell phone to personnel for further discussion of policy.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Is the mayor the chairman of the personnel committee? So then that would be you?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Well, I'm on personnel as well.
But you'd be the chairman now because she's not.
I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you said, is that going to also, when someone takes a leave, they can turn their keys in also? I mean, that would be common any place, if you take a leave of absence, you turn in your keys. So I'm wondering if maybe that should be phone, keys, city equipment, anything like that, make broaden it a bit?
Yes, Greg.
I think that's a separate item. We could certainly have a separate motion on the fact that she needs to return those items, but
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. All right.
Yes, Mark. Okay. Anybody, roll call, or we need a, just roll call, right? Roll call, please.
Steenbach,
It's to further discuss, correct?
refer it to personnel.
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Easter,
Yes.
Schley,
Yes.
Dornick,
Yes.
Steinert,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Rath.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is past actions regarding city property, and that is, this kind of goes with Saturday, September 13th, when the mayor and the former city administrator emptied her office. When the resignation letter was sent to some of the media along with the confidential agreement, was that in the best interest of the city? I don't think so. The mayor was also given advice to have someone else in the office when the city administrator cleaned out her office with personnel possessions. The office staff has no idea where the key came from to get in that office, because the office was locked and the keys were secured, supposedly. But supposedly there's more than one key to that room now than anybody knew about. The items removed happened on Saturday, September 13th in an afternoon. Was that in the best interest of the city when the place is empty? And now the room is empty. There's things missing, and that's coming up on return of city property on F. But cell chargers are missing, computer backpack is missing. Any property of the city, anything we paid for, paper, we paid for. The city taxpayers paid for all of that stuff. The calendars, the desk calendars, it's all gone. Everything's gone. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't think it was in the best interest of the city that all of this stuff left that room. So the city we need it all back, and I would suggest that we ask for it back. The return of all city property so the city can continue to do the day-to-day operations of business. And that's all I've got to say about that. I walked in that office and was shocked. 17 years of business and the room is empty. I don't know if anybody wants to, yes, Greg?
I make a motion that we extend communication to our mayor, despite her leave of absence, and former city administrator to return items that are city property.
Second.
Comment? On it? Oh, yes. Yes.
Couple things, are we on, I don't mean to bring, are we on F or D?
We're on D, past actions regarding city property. I don't know if you think this is proper or not.
No, I'm just wondering which
Yeah.
one to.
Well, they kind of all intermingle.
Then that's fine. Has any simple communication been attempted or email, phone call, knock on the door to ask if these items can be returned?
I know I've tried calling the mayor on a number of occasions. I have not received anything back. I called her on the the stamper, because otherwise I was gonna have to sign everything by hand. And it took her a couple days, but she did email back to Peggy that we could use it, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to use it without written permission to do so. But she did do that. But on these other items, I don't know why, when the room was getting evacuated, or whatever word you want to use, why she would have allowed all of that stuff to, whether it got thrown away or what, it was all city property. And if she's looking out for the best interest of the city as mayor, I guess I question it. Yes, Mary Beth?
I thought in the contract, which everybody has, now seen with the city administrator, don't we have to give her a 5-day notice to, if we want to ask about anything? Wouldn't have to go through her lawyer?
Maybe Judy has it, I don't know. I have no idea where it is.
But the motion said, to ask either one of them. I guess I thought it said we have to contact her lawyer.
I don't think those regards to that, because that wouldn't have been related to.
I apologize. That wouldn't have been related to the return of city property, the 5-day.
Yes, Greg?
I know in my line of work, anything that is done while I'm on the job is not considered my personal property. So, in teaching, for example, my lesson plans and anything that I'm doing as far as curriculum is property of the school district and not mine personally. And so if I were to, switch jobs or whatever, I wouldn't be able to take all of that information with me and pack it up when I go. And I feel that the same should be extended here, and that material, needs to come back to the city, and I hope that we can pass a motion here to simply extend a communication between ourselves and these two individuals to get back the stuff that is rightfully the city of Clintonville's.
Is that a motion, Greg?
We've got a motion on this already.
Does anybody else have comments or questions? Roll call? Can you reread the motion, please?
Motion by Rose, second by Keister, to extend communication to mayor and former city administrator regarding items that are city property. Was it regarding return of city items?
Yes.
So it was extend communication to mayor and former city administrator regarding return of items that are city property.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Rose.
Yes.
Keister.
Yes.
Schley.
Yes.
Dornick.
Yes.
Seinert.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Rath.
Yes.
Steenbach.
Yes.
Olson.
Yeah.
6E would be electronic device retention policy. We need a policy for the staff and elected officials on retention of electronic devices and data. This is for the betterment of the city in order to continue fulfilling the needs of the citizens and also for the processing of open records. Recommending retention of all city cell phones and computers. We will need to work it out with Ralph, our city IT technician, the handling of the computers and/or hard drives. In the event of replacement devices, the old devices must be stored by the city for 7 years. And that's according to state statutes, isn't it? Or, no, it's just recommendation, okay. And that would be 6E, and I suppose we could push this over to, yes, Mark.
Sorry to bother.
That's
I
okay.
just want to refer this to safety and ordinance so we can come up with a policy with Lloyd's and Chair, that we can come up with a policy that maybe we'll discuss it. I'll make a motion first. See.
Sounds good. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. That will be moved over there then. Sounds good. I think we've already covered the request return of city property. And we can move on. Right?
With that.
Pardon? 7, Finance and Insurance Committee, Mark?
No, 7 is me.
Oh, I got the wrong one. Okay, sorry about that, Mary Beth. I've got the old agenda, it's the revised one.
Okay, 7, on the meeting that was canceled, the meeting that was canceled, the special meeting was called and canceled, and there were 3 items on the agenda. 2 of them were referred to personnel, and 1 item was dropped. And the item that was dropped, the mayor informed me would be put on the agenda for this meeting, and it is now on the agenda for this meeting, and that was review recent mayoral decisions, acts, and actions. And the one thing that I did want to point out, that this was discussed in closed session, but then I did an open meetings request, and we did have the incident where the mayor had, contrary to our policy, the city does not grant extensions of vacations or carryover vacation. And the mayor authorized $7,900 worth of carryover vacation for the city administrator. She attempted to post-date it, but then white it out, but then was changed, so it was done in March, just before the city administrator was put on leave. So that was a $7,900 error, and as one of my constituents pointed out to me, if I made a mistake like that, I have to pay for it. The other one I wanted to point out was, and this was brought to my attention, that there was an item that was found in the mayor's office after she took the leave of absence, found by the alderperson, that we were supposed to get this paper filed, and it was going to cost us to lose like $25,000 or $15,000 or something.
The DOT.
A DOT, and that was, it was buried in some papers. So fortunately, it was found, and we're trying to get that corrected. But things have been happening that have been slipping. So we're ready to discuss the thing about the mayoral acts that are going on during the. But we've been informed that people say, well, why don't you have a special investigator when it's an elected person? The only thing that can happen with an elected person, you can't do anything. You can't ask for medical records. You can't do any kind of investigation. That would be a vote. And I was told that the only way we could do anything if there was an 8 to 10 vote of the council to do anything. So that's the way that stands. The other item that I have is that I campaigned on, and actually Mayor Dewey campaigned on this also, was constituents said that they wanted to have a second grocery store. And we did have one person speak at.
Can we go back to the other one in case anybody?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Does anyone else anything to add to that?
Well, I will say one other thing on that. That meeting was canceled, and I still haven't been given a reason as to why the meeting was canceled or at whose authority. And I'm kind of concerned that a meeting called by 3 people of the council.
I think the 3 people canceled it. I canceled it.
Well, I was told that.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I talked to all 3 of us when that meeting was canceled.
Well, that's not what John and Jim told me, so I was misinformed by them then.
And Peggy even doubled.
And when I called around to cancel everybody, that my last 2 phone calls were to them to confirm that they did. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
They tell me they had canceled.
Thank you. I haven't been able to get an answer on that. Okay, then the other, does anyone else have anything on that?
Well, I know you brought to light the vacation documents, and there's the issuance of the vacation check. Because I'm down here at City Hall, there's been an issue with that as far as, I don't even know, Peggy, I hate to get you in this, but you can explain it better than I could explain it with the vacation check issuance. With the, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
if I may ask Alderman Dornick, was that going to be referred to personnel perhaps? I don't know the proper place to discuss this.
Oh, okay. Because we'll save that for another time.
That's the $7,900.
I would say. Yeah.
Well, I brought it up. The more positive thing is the update on the grocery store search, that I campaigned on that, and Mayor Judy campaigned on it, she told me, and people have asked questions about it. At the last 2 meetings, we've had one gentleman come up and ask about a grocery store. When I was going around, what I want to stress is that the people that are looking for another grocery store are already going elsewhere. They're going to New London, they're going to Shawano, they're going to Appleton. They're not shopping here because they say the prices are too high. I talked to a person at Tigerton, because Tigerton is getting a grocery store, and I've been following up on every town that's getting a new grocery store to see if it's a possibility for us. And someone from Tigerton, actually a family member, is going to start one. But the gentleman that's the force behind that said, oh yeah, I don't shop in Clintonville because it's too expensive. So people are telling us, I had one gentleman say, could you get a bus? Could you organize a bus that we could go to Charlie's Market or something? So I've been following up on, see if there's a discussion going on in the back. It's still going on.
If you can't be orderly.
Madam Chairman, there has been a disturbance behind me in the audience.
Thank you. So I've been following up on every grocery store, and I do have, when a grocery store goes into a new community, then I follow up to see if they'd be interested in coming here. And so far I have one that's looking very good. When the time comes, I will have a city realtor, we'll look for a place and so forth, but we are making progress on this. But again, I want to stress, it's the people who are already shopping elsewhere. And one of the gentlemen who started a store in a town where there wasn't a grocery store said, you know, one of the things you have to do then is get the people back that already established a pattern of going someplace else because they're used to going to Appleton or Shawano. So that's a marketing challenge. But things are looking hopeful, and this is one of the things I'm committed to because it's something that people really wanted. But again, the people are already going elsewhere, and the reason they're telling me is they can't afford to shop here.
Okay. Do we have any other comments on that? We'll move on to finance and insurance. Mark?
Finance and Insurance Committee reviewed the financial reports and is recommending payment of the bills in the amount of $1,086,684.52.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Easter,
Yes?
Schley,
Yes.
Dornick,
Yes.
Steiner,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Rath,
Yes.
Steenbach,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
8B, Finance and Insurance Committee is recommending denial of operator's license for Jay Larson as recommended by the police department.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Schley,
Yes.
Dornick,
Yes.
Steiner,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Rath,
Yes.
Steenbach,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Easter.
Yes.
Thank you. 9C, licenses as presented for recommended for approval. Class B beer, cigarette, and amusement device licenses for 27 South Main Street. Table minutes are all recommended for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
And 8D, from staff recommendation in dealing with HIPAA concerns, right, or HIPAA insurance question, we currently have one person. And if that person is absent or ill or not able to answer those questions, we don't have a backup person. Staff is recommending that Mary take that backup role, and she has accepted my insurance committee recommending that she be appointed as the backup person for insurance claim contacts. Mary Natowski.
Any other comments or questions on that? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Let's move down to street committee, city street lights.
Madam Chairman, the street committee is recommending the council reinstating the street light listed as priority one from the street lighting replacement estimate supply appeared on page 39, pages 37 and 38 of your packet. And I'll entertain a motion as such.
So moved.
Yep. Pardon? Yeah. Mary Beth seconded it, didn't you? Yeah, you seconded it.
Did I entertain the
Yeah.
motion?
Greg?
I did not make the
No, he
motion.
didn't
Oh,
make
I
the
thought he
motion.
did.
I made the
Oh,
motion.
okay, I'm
He
sorry.
said I will entertain the motion.
And I need a second.
I will second that.
Okay. Any other comments? Greg?
I attended the street meeting and we had a great discussion on the streetlight issue and putting it on a front burner to get resolved and get lights back on for people that had them turned off. And this is something that has been a continual voice from constituents that it needs to be fixed, and we're working on it. And what was discussed at the street meeting was we have a spreadsheet of all the lights that were turned off, and then they were ranked on a priority list of 1, 2, and 3 based upon the needs for lighting concerns and safety concerns and usage, and that was priorities that were deemed 1, 2, and 3 by public safety officials and so forth, safety concerns and usage, and that was priorities that were deemed 1, 2, and 3 by public safety officials and so forth, not somebody that was just a council person or anything. This was deemed appropriate after looking at it from a public safety standpoint and a usage standpoint. And so what we're looking at doing here is just simply acting upon those that are labeled as priority 1, those that are the most in need, recognizing the fact that while we certainly would like to see the lights all immediately get back up and so forth, that is not reasonable within time constraints, work constraints of our employees, but recognize that we will get to number 2 and 3 as soon as time is available and budget monies are available to make that happen. So I'm pleased to see that we are moving ahead on this, and at this point in time, just simply getting the number 1 priority ones up.
Yes, Mary Beth?
And I also want to emphasize that they're going to be LED lights, so there'll be a saving in energy, and also they will put out more lumens, so they'll be brighter, and also an energy saving, so they're going to be replaced with that. And then most of the street lights are owned by the utility, and only a few are owned by the city. So we've been working with the utility on this, and they were part of this prioritization.
Yes, Phil?
Madam Chair, I chaired the street committee meeting and was involved in the discussion. I cast the only dissenting vote, and my logic is that at this point in our budget process, we simply do not have the money to go ahead with this project. There's a lot of hard work that was involved, and I appreciate the efforts of the utility people that made a list for us. I think it is an excellent future resource, but at this point in time, I do not see the additional expense.
Yes, Gloria?
Okay, I'm out in the street and people are very excited about getting their lights. I've had a lady on Lincoln Street call me. She's had her car vandalized, I think, just about every night, according to her, for weeks. I had a gentleman on Ann Street talk to me and say, when are the lights coming on? Friday night, he just had some kind of altercation in his driveway that he had to call the police. There's just random people that are saying, when are we getting our lights on, and it's quite important, and it is quite important. You got on 14th Street, you hit West 14th Street, the corner of Clinton and 14th, you turn your lights out on your car once, you can't see nothing unless somebody's got a light on in their house, but it's pitch black, and it is scary. And with the amount of kids that are being missing and abducted, taken, wherever they're going, I just say, I think it's gotta be a priority that I think the streetlights have to come back on. Even the priority ones, I'm excited and thrilled because I never was in favor that they went down in the first place.
Yes, Greg?
I recognize that our budgets are tight. As we're working through our budget for next year, we have the printout, which I'm looking at right now, of the expenditures and that we have done through July 31st of this year, and the amounts that were allocated in the budget for various line items for this year, and many of them have not been spent. And that money should be held back for a variety of reasons. To make sure that we balance our budget as the year goes through, as other needs arise. And I believe that this is another need that arises because, we have, I'm looking at a list here, we've got, $80,000 budgeted for a certain item, $0 have been spent. $100,000 budgeted for an item, $17 has been spent. There are certain places in our budget where we might have things earmarked for items or for projects that can always be changed. And so the printout of last year's budget and what we allocated for what when, that is not something that is carved in stone. There are ways that our department heads can move projects around and reallocate monies. And so I don't think that having, just the simple statement of it's not in the budget. It can be in the budget if you let the department head find out how. And I think that we can task our department heads to look at their current year's budget. And they've got money available for this budget. Perhaps it has other plans. But if we task them with the duty of putting up the streetlights because that's what the constituents want, then that's what they need to do. And it might mean something else has to change, but they have the ability to do that. So I think we do have the funds, and we find it with talking with our department heads and make it happen. And we're not talking about a whole lot of money here. We're talking about the priority 1 lights. And so that's a third, approximately, of the lights that need to go up. And I think that simple dialogue between ourselves, the utility, the street, and department heads, we can make it happen.
Yes.
As the utility, I think the answer is yes, was the $10,020 included in the utility budget? And was the $913.28 included in the street? And is the motion that we're directing them to go back up or have finance in the department has reviewed this to get into the budget?
Reinstating priority 1 streetlights from estimates provided by the utility department.
Priority 1 wants to include in both budgets.
Should get back to that. I'm just asking.
Yes, Mary Beth?
It's in the budgets, and the motion was to go ahead with number 1's priority ones.
They just went home tomorrow.
Oh, we do have it in your budget?
No, when I put the budget together, it was before the.
Okay.
That street or whatever.
So you'll have to juggle.
Does not include any extra lights other than.
Oh, yeah.
Last year.
Mandy, I know. Yes, Mandy.
Talked about this at utility board last
Mhm.
night, and we estimate that the city portion for these priority 1 lights, including the installation cost, base charge, and usage would be around $3,000 for next year. So that's the number that Toby would need to put into his budget.
Yes, Mark?
I could just follow up. I just asked the council to consider there's a lot of things going on, and I understand, I really do, that we need to consider these lights. just ask that you give the committee and first department heads time to work this out. There's, right now, we're making the list bigger, not smaller, and that list is about 420, we'll say 400,000 plus. And we're already looking at some really tough decisions. If this is going to be the highest priority, I guess I question that among,
Ms. Florida, I guess, and this is my final say, I think it's time that we kind of look out for the citizens of Clintonville a little bit also. I think there's been so many things that have been cut from the small guy, the neighbor, myself, living right in the heart of town. And I'm thinking maybe it's time we have to show that we're trying and we're going to give a little bit back. I think that's just how I feel. But like I said, I wasn't for this taking down of streetlights from the get-go. So I would like to see them brought back. I don't think what we saved really helped in the budget that much. I mean, in the big scheme of the picture, it didn't make a big dent because it was $7,000 a year. And I know I've been criticized for saying measly $7,000, but in the big scheme, we only saved $7,000 to take down our lights a year, and it was a lot of lights. So now it's going to cost us to put them back up, but I believe we have to.
Yeah, the street committee, talked about this. It's really seen as giving something to the people. What we're hearing from our constituents, and that's our job, is that they came to meetings, they talked in droves. We keep hearing that the people that talk at the meetings, are expressing the opinions. They came and talked. They were not heard. They told us, during those of us that recently campaigned, that was the number one issue. I know it was for Jim, it wasn't for me. So we're doing this, and the reason we're doing it, it's not a big item, but we're doing it to really say something to the citizens that we're listening to. They really need something from us. So we are asking it to be a priority.
Yes, Bill?
I agree it should be a priority. I would only ask that give the department heads the opportunity to work out how to make it a priority. As Alderman Dornick noted, according to the figures from last night, we're talking about being over budget $425,063. The budget, while there are line items that apparently haven't been used up, the year-to-date budget is $12,000 over. We've just added additional costs with the interim city administrator. Now we're adding more costs with the street lights. And while I'm not against either of those decisions, all I'm saying is let's not handcuff the department heads tonight. Let's ask them to consider it in the budget and add it into the priority list as we do with so many things that we need to provide for services, and let them come back to us with a recommendation based on their experience, knowing that it's important to us and important to the constituents, and rely on their guidance and judgment on the specifics.
Yes, Greg?
I agree with Bill that we do need to give our department heads the opportunity to work it into their budget, and I would see that the priority 2 and 3 lights get worked into the budget for next year, and that our department heads reallocate the funds necessary to get the priority ones up as soon as possible. And so I agree with Bill mostly on this issue. I just feel that we can find a way to get the priority ones up now, and to prolong this any further is not what our constituents are asking for.
Can I just say something first? We talked about this at utility meeting the other night as well, and it wouldn't be because our manpower is backlogged, right, Mandy? Because we are short-staffed in the utility department. So they have direction to begin with the ones, but it might not be till spring because we are short-staffed. We want to get the Ash Tree substation operational, which is kind of getting put more to the front burner now. Am I speaking right, Mandy? Yeah. So that's going to be what we're going to be working on in between now and probably the first of the year and into the next year, because I can't think of his name. He was here last night at the meeting. Shame on me. Yeah, Brian was here last night at the meeting, and he knows that we want them up. He knows that, but we don't have the manpower to do it, so it is going to be, you know what I mean. Yes, Greg.
I recognize that fact. I just feel that it needs to come through this body first. And when it gets up, they get up. But at least our citizens have the assurance that it's on the docket and it's going to happen. Whether it comes up next spring or next summer or sooner, that we can't predict exactly when that's going to happen. But at least here now in this meeting, we can say yes.
Brian was at our meeting and we discussed this with him, and it's all of our understanding. We know about the manpower shortage. So all of our agreement was that they're going to put them up, as soon as they can. But as Greg said, we're going to authorize it and people are going to know what's going to happen. I think Jim had his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Yes, I forgot about you when I was up.
I said what you wanted to say.
Probably.
Anybody else have any other comments? Yes, Phil?
I just have one comment regarding the constituents. Since the streetlights were taken down, I've heard negative comments from two citizens, and that doesn't represent the city of Cliftonville.
Anybody else have anything? And can you read the motion?
Motion by Keister, second by Rose, on reinstating priority 1 streetlights from estimates provided by the utility department.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Dornick?
No.
Beinert?
No.
Kraus?
Yes.
Dunleavy?
Yes.
Rapp?
No.
Steenbach?
Abstain.
Wilson?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Keister?
Yes.
Schley?
Yes. 6 to 3 to 1. But they won't be up in the near future. Okay.
Item B, Madam Chair, it's been recommended to council adding to the existing list billable rates for the Jet Vector truck of $100 per hour. That list is found on pages 39 and 40 of your packet, and I so move.
Second.
Any other comments or questions? No. Is that motion for the utility board equipment billable rates as well? Because you said page 39 and 40?
No, this is
Wastewater.
street.
Okay. So page 39. Page 40 is the utility board, correct? Okay.
Goes to utility, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You had me confused a little bit. So we're doing page, the Jet Vector truck at $100 per hour is the street committee's billable rate.
Right.
And that motion was just page 39. Correct? Okay.
Well, it was $100 for the truck, that's what it said.
Roll call, please.
Beinert?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Dunleavy?
Yes.
Rapp?
Yes.
Steenbach?
Abstain.
Wilson?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Keister?
Yes.
Schley?
Yes.
Dornick?
Yes.
We'll move on to number 10, the utility board, and those billable rates on page 40. The bucket truck, the digger truck, the backhoe, the chipper, the dump truck, the pickup truck, the meter van, and the thawing machine with all the appropriate rates listed. I think the reason we're doing this is for when FEMA or somebody uses, I don't know if the audience knows why we're doing all these billable rates, but that's why it's just so, or if Amy knows why we're doing it.
No,
That's
I didn't
why.
know
It's
that.
for, if there's a big storm and the city wants us to come out and help, it's to bill to the FEMA and such to get reimbursed. So that's why we have them. And we've been trying to get them all updated just recently, within the last couple of months. I think we've been updating them all. And this must be about it now, isn't it? So that's good.
I would make a motion then to,
Can I make a motion? Okay. On the equipment billable rates on page 40 then. Thanks, Mark. Roll call, please.
Rose?
Yes.
Glenlevy? Yes. Rath?
Yes.
Steenbach?
abstain.
Wilson?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Easter?
Yes.
Schley?
Yes.
Dornick?
Yes.
Zeinert?
Yes.
Number 11, appointments. We already did the A District 3 alderperson, and welcome Amy. I'm the street committee appointment, Park and Recreation Commission appointment, and the redevelopment appointment I would like to give to Amy. I don't want to overwhelm her. The street committee doesn't meet every month, I don't think. The Park and Rec meets once a month, but maybe not. Gloria's the chair of that. And redevelopment authority, maybe twice a year, maybe, right? Yeah, it's as needed, and if you find that you can fit that into your schedule, and they're not, well, it's not that they're not important, but I just didn't want to give you any, and I wanted seasoned people in the other ones because Jerry was seasoned. So, and I would ask that the Personnel Committee appoint Greg Rose for the Personnel Committee, and Safety and Ordinance, John Wilson, if they would accept those positions. John served on Safety and Ordinance in previous years, so he has some knowledge of that. And I think, Greg, I think you served on Personnel a while ago as well. A couple of years ago or something. No? Oh,
That's a new one.
What? I would ask for a motion to accept those committee appointments.
Second. Street.
Any discussion? I'm sorry.
Just, I think we discussed, just restate.
The street committee and the Park and Rec Committee and the redevelopment authority, we would be appointing Amy to. Okay? The personnel committee would be Greg Rose, and the safety and ordinance committee would be John Wilson. Any discussion? I think there was a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on it? Roll call, please.
Dunleavy?
Yes.
Rath?
Yes.
Steenbach? Wilson?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Easter?
Yes.
Schley?
Yes.
Dornick?
Yes.
Zeinert?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
And then we will be backing up to 6G and H. Somebody want to make the motion?
I'll make that, oh, boy, okay. I'll make a motion that we adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Stats 19.85, Parent 1, Parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session /TIF. 3, project utility work and expenditures / may reconvene into open session for possible action. Do we want to do them both? Yep. Yeah, and then closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Stats 19.85, Parent 1, Parent G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is likely to become involved. Rings Repair Order 164, North Main Street / may reconvene into open session for possible action.
To include Chief Lorch, Peggy, Toby, and Mandy, and Ms. Dunleavy. Right. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Guy? Yes. Dornet?
Yes.
Rechner?
Yes.
Roach?
Yes.
Dunlap? Yes.